Hey, true believers. Today we are going over Moon Knight Black, White, and Blood, Issue 1. And there's two reasons that I immediately grabbed this book. A, the cover was absolutely fantastic. B, I saw Hickman, and I was like, yeah, let's give this a go. However, because I was in a hurry, I was doing some errands that day. I didn't see that there were other writers on this book. So as I sat down to read it, I was like, oh, this is one of those sort of showcase books. And I was like, come on. So before I get into some of the good and majority of what I hated about this book, let's talk about who created this. This is Anubius Rex, Jonathan Hickman and Chris Bachalo doing the story. So white yet so dark. Morwea Ayodele and Doton Akande. If I'm butchering your names, I apologize. Lien, Mark Guggenheim, and Jorge Ferrones. VC's Corey Petit doing the lettering. And what really drew my eye, I should have known, is Bill Sienkiewicz doing the cover art. That is awesome. Here's everyone else working on the book. And I wish that this would have been just one writer and one artist. And because of how visually, aesthetically fun you can do with Moon Knight, I wish they would have left Bill Sienkiewicz as the entire book artist. Because as you go through the different stories, the art showcases the tonal shifts of each story, but some pale in comparison to others. So, for example, we start out with the first Hickman story, and of course there's that sci-fi element to it, which I'm fine that it's kind of this dystopian post-apocalyptic future. Ra, the sun god, has scattered his essence across the cosmos and different little scarabs. And so this future Moon Knight, we don't know if this is Mark Spector at this point. He has to go retrieve them all. And he has a sidekick that he apparently hates named Bunny. And the back and forth between them actually makes the book fun. Now, one thing about Chris Bachalo that I will say, I don't know if this was like a rush job, but if you go back, in my earliest experience with this artist was Generation X, way back in the Scott Liddell days of the 90s X-Men. And his artwork for there, it was, you could kind of see how he had his sort of blocky style, but it was edgy, it was dark, and it worked for the comic. But as time has gone on and you look at like his Uncanny X-Men work, or there's some others that we just recently went over. But overall, it's hard to tell what is going on. They land on a planet. We all of a sudden see a monster, and then we just kind of see this quick chomp chomp. And then all of a sudden they're inside this monster. And because of his artistic style, not that it's bad, but it's really hard to discern anything that is going on. And that really detracts from Hickman's story of how these two characters are supposed to work together and what they're doing. So that the artwork overall, beautiful, but they really should have cleaned it up just a little bit because, the artist is trying to get it done per the writer's instructions, but you have to keep the reader in mind. And that really derailed the book, in my opinion. The next one, I'm going to be honest right off the bat, and I don't mean to sound mean, but I absolutely hated this story. The artwork's okay. It's kind of stock. You can the artwork, it's clean, it's serviceable, but it doesn't feel dynamic. Like this panel here, instead of having him walk like this, it should have been Moon Knight in the foreground, kind of a Dutch angle like so, and kind of seeing Spidey walk in behind his shoulder or something. But these overheads front on, it kind of kills the book. I mean, look at this. Nothing wrong with the artwork, it's just the dynamicness of it should have really been changed. And I don't know, for those of you that are a little more in the art world, let me know if this is more 3D model. I apologize for my camera keep going out of focus. It just wants to screw me that way. Now, you ask yourself, why did I not like this book? Artwork is serviceable. It's a little too cutesy. Yes. So Spidey comes up and is asking, what initially kind of works, like what starts the whole thing is Spidey asking Moon Knight for a favor or to team up together. And let's just get this over with. And they make Peter more annoying, kind of like how Chip Zdarsky's early Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, or was it The Spectacular? Whatever book it was. Remember how it started out real cutesy and the book started to decline, and then he changed it to serious drama, and we got to see a version of Peter that we have not seen since the 80s and 90s? We're back to cutesiness. It's like, you said a scarab? Yeah. So, Egyptian stuff? F you. It's just, Peter quips. He was not a cutesy character, but so many people have sort of screwed his character over the years that other writers, that's what they see when they go back to study him and don't go far enough back. And so, again, they're going to fight this scarab thing, and it's like, I'm going to mess you up, bro. So again, they have to fight this giant mecha robot. Whatever. The artwork's serviceable, but it's too cutesy. And then, of course, at the end, there has to be a particularly annoying character that sort of really killed it for me. The last one, which this one's called... What is this one called? Let's go back to the beginning real quick. I didn't take time to really remember what the stories were called. So the first one with Hickman was called Anubius Rex. The one we just got done was So White and So Dark. Okay, so this one's just aptly called The End. All right. So going back. You notice how here at the beginning it says The End. And you're thinking, oh, they're just telling you what the name of the story is. Nah, bro. Guggenheim, he started out doing an okay job, and this is just my personal opinion. You can make fun of me down in the comments. He started out doing a good job on X-Men Gold. And then I don't know what happened. The book just got absolutely boring and just kind of predictable. But here, again, I think this is Marvel trying its hand at manga. Because what happens is you have to go all the way to the end of the book, start on the bottom panel, and work up. So not necessarily like a manga, but yes, like a manga. As you can see how the art first starts here, the Jorge Fionas, how it starts out here with Mr. Knight. It's gorgeous. And it's not bad. It's basic in the fact that this woman inadvertently starts working for the mob, and she agrees to testify. She has to do it in the morning, and she has to make it to the courthouse by then. She's afraid of going into protective custody and dirty cops, so she goes to Mr. Knight to make an offer. Now, here, this is where I want to say this is why I stopped watching the Moon Knight show. I tried watching the first 2 episodes, and I did not like how they made Steven a little nerd. If they progressed his character, awesome. But just to start him out as like this little dweeb, Oscar Isaac did his best. I'm not going to damn him. He did a really good performance, but making him a nerd, just no. Because Stephen Grant, yeah, he's supposed to be, in a sense, like Bruce Wayne. He's supposed to be very debonair. He's the one that supports the money for Moon Knight's endeavors. So, like, for example, the way he's kind of keeps her safe here at the beginning is he has essentially a limo that's like what he says is the Beast, which is the presidential state car used by the Secret Service. So essentially it's supposed to be bulletproof everything. And you just see how very calm, debonair he is. All right, Ms. Williams, I'll help you survive the night. Not, oh my goodness, I'm just very much a wallflower. And yeah, the Disney Plus really killed me on that show. Anyway, the action's serviceable. The artwork, again, really feels like a manga book. The, what do you call it? The little bit of use of color to help make things pop work, especially since it's supposed to be black, white, and blood. So, of course, the red is going to be what kind of supposed to be the eye catcher. I'm sorry, I've not had enough coffee right now, so I'm being kind of dumb. But even though the story is basic, it's interesting. It's not enough to carry a book. Like, it ends. So for a short story like this, where this is supposed to be a collection, I could see that working. But I feel like that should have been in maybe like a free comic book day compilation. these Black, White, and Blood books, they have, like, we went over Elektra, same thing with this. Interesting ideas, but overall just nothing that makes you want to be like, damn, I want to get the next issue. Damn, this is good. Like with this, if they would have left it with Hickman and Bill Sienkiewicz, or Mark Guggenheim and Bill Sienkiewicz, I could have seen maybe this being a standalone book that just takes off. I would spend money for that, because that's one reason why I'm going back and doing the Claremont New Mutants, particularly the Sienkiewicz era, because his artwork really made that time pop, and it just added to the story, and that's why that particular run of New Mutants still holds up to compare like the rest of it, where there was some good stories, but it just was not one of those like lightning in a bottle moments, and I feel like that was very much a missed opportunity on this book. So let me know what you think. If you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, please, first and foremost, support your local comic shop and grab a copy. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate it if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little Khonshu bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.